Having multiple playgroups sounds like a really great idea, but let's talk about some of the pros and cons. What is up, Commander players? My name is Matt and you're watching Top Commander. So, on today's episode, I wanted to talk about the pros and cons of having multiple playgroups. This is something that I've personally experienced, and it can be a bit of a wild ride. But before we dive too deep into this topic, let me go ahead and start off with the usual. If you wish to support this channel, be sure to like, share, and subscribe as always. And if you wish to support this channel directly, be sure to visit patreon.com/topcommander. But let's go ahead and get into this. Having multiple playgroups, why do we do it? What's the end goal of having multiple playgroups? Well, a lot of it could be with scheduling with one playgroup and then scheduling with the other playgroup, and maybe you can get more games in. Maybe you're just looking to have more variety of decks to play against, or just different people, different faces, different personalities at the game table, depending on, what's going on. Basically, the end goal is just more variety, right? More players to play against, more games to get in. Sounds like a really great idea. But at the same time, it has its own assortment of problems. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, you probably already guessed the pros for having multiple playgroups, of course, would be more games, more people, more decks, more challenges, more fun. But could it also lead to a moment of not so much fun? Here's where things can get a little difficult, and this is where the con section of having multiple playgroups comes into play. Let's say maybe you wanted to get in competitive play. Well, you have to have the mindset for a CEDH table, right? You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know, proper threat assessment. You have to come prepared to that table. The only rule is that you win at all costs. Or maybe you're at a commander table with maybe you're in two separate play groups that are casual play groups, but maybe they play a little bit different. Maybe one group doesn't like combo, but you enjoy playing a combo deck. Maybe another play group has its own personalized ban list for whatever reason. There are some play groups that don't allow Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, or Cyclonic Rift and things like that. There's some play groups that don't like counterspells. So how does that become a bit of a difficult endeavor? Well, one, you definitely need to have multiple decks. Decks that are dedicated to each playgroup, that play well with that playgroup. But maybe you have a commander that you like playing that you want to play in both. Now you're in the business of having to swap out cards in between playgroups to satisfy one another. This can be a problem. Another issue that you might find is the difference in mindset. Just the difference of opinion. Let's face it, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a different mindset. Some people are they're very stubborn when it comes to their own thoughts and ideas, of course. But maybe what one playgroup believes contradicts what another one believes, and the ideas of fun don't mesh very well, and there's just a contrast, there's a butting of heads when it comes to trying to bounce between these two playgroups. So what do you do when you get into that scenario? Because maybe you thoroughly enjoy playing casually, and then you get mixed up in the wrong crowd in another play group, and they're just, maybe it's a toxic play group, very stubborn, people that don't want to listen, people that are just completely just, I don't know how to describe it, short of using a few words that I'm trying not to use on this channel, because I am trying to be a family-friendly channel. So, when it comes down to it, you've got having multiple play groups. Is it possible? Absolutely. I'm willing to bet you there are tons of people out there playing Commander in different play groups. Now, the concept of this is fine. It's a great concept because more games, more fun, right? But you gotta know what's going on in both play groups. You gotta understand the mindset. You also gotta be careful of not letting that mindset from one group or another affect you going into another group. This is something that you gotta be careful about. So, for instance, you have a casual play group, you have a CEDH play group. Maybe you're not even a full-on CEDH player. Maybe you just like to play against high-level decks like that, or high-powered gameplay like that. You could even be a casual player and still run Mana Crypt. I mean, come on. That's not a big surprise. But what do you do in the case of, well, you've got the CEDH group, but maybe for some reason they're being toxic, or the way that they talk about casual players, being yourself a casual player and your other casual play group, maybe there's some table talk that's being had that maybe you don't agree with. There's a lot of difference of opinion. There's all kinds of scenarios that can pop up with this, where there's just a complete offsetting, just completely different state of mind. Now, is it possible to have multiple play groups? Absolutely. Now, you just have to be mindful of yourself, that you're not becoming toxic trying to bounce between the two, or have that mental understanding. This play group is this way, this play group is this way. It's kind of a weird subject to talk about, thinking about it now. But there are pros and cons. There are scenarios that can pop up that can make it more of a heartache than it's really worth. But sometimes you just have to be careful about it, be cautious about it, be mindful of how you're approaching the situation, going from one play group to another. Now, if you are in that position where you have multiple play groups and everything is fine, everybody gets along, no toxicity, maybe it's two separate casual play groups that just, maybe they just don't play together due to work schedules or family schedules. I mean, that is a thing. And that's totally understandable. But if you do have multiple play groups and it's not a matter of scheduling, I'm really curious. Why are the two groups not together to be one big play group? Really think about that. And if you do know the answer, by all means, let me know down in the comments below. Now, I will admit, there's always going to be, in a way, multiple play groups. Of course, one down thing about this is, for me personally, our local game store closed down the play area due to COVID. It's been shut down for a while. We've been waiting for an opportunity for the play area to open back up. Don't know when that's going to happen. We are hoping for it to happen at some point eventually, because let's face it, Commander on spell table it's fine. It helps us with that itch. But face-to-face games, having everybody sitting at the same table right there, it's just so much easier, so much more fun. For me personally as well, because of the social aspect. That's one great thing about Commander, is the socialization at the table. Now, is it all social? No. But is it all business? Nah. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Do you only have one play group, and have you thought about having multiple play groups? Are there any concerns that you have personally about having multiple play groups? And on the opposite side of that coin, any of you guys out there that have multiple play groups, how's that working out for you? Are they both casual or both CEDH, or is one CEDH and one's more casual? And I'll even accept, responses like, well, I play with my family and then I have a group of friends that I play with. There's all sorts of different scenarios, and it's all understandable. For me personally, it's family, some friends, and my LGS, which the LGS can be a mix of both sometimes, depending on how some people are feeling. Like I said, there can be a level of toxicity involved in that. That's why I kind of try to keep them a little bit separate. But, but yeah, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? What are some of y'all's concerns about that? And if you do have multiple play groups that play very well together, by all means, talk about it in the comments below. Something really cool that I'm going to be working on. I'm hopefully going to be getting some upgraded camera equipment, and going to get a few friends together and get some gameplay videos hopefully coming up soon, and we'll be posting those as soon as we can. Now mind you, that's going to be a lot more editing, so I don't know how long it's going to take for me to do an episode, do the editing on a gameplay episode. I'm also not 100% sure just yet on how the format is going to be. It's probably going to be one camera angle because I don't have enough cameras to do multiple angles. For instance, like game nights from the command zone, how they have multiple camera angles. I don't have the budget for that. So it's probably going to be just straight top-down view, kind of similar to what you would see on like Spell Table, how it's just the table, or even what's another one? MTG Mudsta, who also does the top-down view. Even before COVID, it was only top-down view, just showing the table. But yeah. So that is something that I'm going to be working on. I'm waiting for some of the equipment to come in so that way I can get the guys together so we can get some games. And I will keep you guys updated on how long it's taken me to do the editing. And then once I get an idea of that, I'll be able to more safely come up with a release schedule for gameplay videos for you guys to enjoy. Because, like I said, this is one of the things that I was planning on doing this year, is start getting gameplay videos. Now it's just a matter of getting the games filmed and edited and go through the process so that way I can get them as quickly as I can to you guys. Of course, there has been an issue for quite some time with the mail service. The mail service has been running slow, so I have no clue how long it's going to be before I even get the equipment. But like I said, I will keep you guys updated as time goes on future episodes that I make. Sorry about the little hiatus though. There's a family trip coming up soon, so we've been trying to plan a lot of stuff out for that. So, but that's all I have for today. Just a little food for thought. Something that I thought would be an interesting topic discussion about having multiple play groups, pros and cons. Definitely want to hear from you guys, so let me know down in the comments below y'all's situation or your thoughts on the subject. And I will see you guys next video.